Hello everyone, this is Frank DeFreitas, and welcome to HoloTalk for the week of January 25th, 1999. A rather short show this week, as I've been in the lab with laser pointer holography testing in the evenings and have spent a great deal of time this week looking to see how far back laser pointer holography goes. My curiosity was piqued going through two books. Number one, Practical Holography by Graham Saxby, and the other book being Homemade Holograms by John Iovine. In Saxby's Practical Holography, he states on page 38, if the astigmatism of this beam is corrected by means of optics, a spatially coherent beam can be obtained, and this has been used experimentally for making holograms, though so far not to any extent outside of the Soviet Union, which of course is now Russia. Amazingly enough, the papers listed in the reference at the end of the chapter are from 1974, 1976, and 1980. All of them are from Russia. If you'd like more information on the papers, send me an email and I'll send you the authors, titles, descriptions, and publications. In Homemade Holograms, on page 166, we find the following. There is currently, and this is 1990, one company in the United States that claims to produce a laser diode suitable for holography, HoloSpectra. HoloSpectra uses a diode manufactured by the Japanese company Toshiba in their HSD4 laser diode assembly. The wavelength is 670 nanometers, power output is 3.4 milliwatts, and the cost is $575 as of January 1990. The coherency length of the diode isn't known, but it has been used by a few American holographers to produce holograms. So I called Bill Arkin at HoloSpectra this week, and he did confirm the information. He couldn't recall offhand who the holographers were, but did mention TJ at Lake Forest as one person who was experimenting with diode holography. I went through all of my back issues of Holosphere from the mid-1980s to the time that they ceased publication and could not find any information, although the issues may have been too early. I also checked Wavefront, Holographics International, but didn't find anything there either. This week, I'll try to go through my copies of Holography News and see if any company released a report on working with diodes. Now, I was contacted by a gentleman last week who said he was making holograms using a 680 nanometer pointer many years ago, but the results were less than satisfactory. So there has to be news and a history out there. If you have worked with diodes to create holograms or know of someone who was within the last 10 years, please contact me so we can get a nice background and information together on this. The holograms that I have created, which you see on my website under the laser pointer holography link, using the $7.99 laser pointer, will be unveiled to the public for the first time on Saturday evening, March 6th, at the Central New Jersey Mensa Conference, held at the Holiday Inn at Tinnican Falls, New Jersey. I will be the keynote speaker for the event, so if you're in the area, come out and be one of the first people to see these images. I'll have a web page on the event within the next week. And also, HoloTalk will be recorded live during the event and will be the program for the week of March 15th, so stay tuned for more information on this. Steve Michael sent in a report this week. He's been working with Kodak Film for making his laser pointer holograms and has had some success. Here is his email, which I will read to you. I just made a bright transmission with Kodak SO253 film, 4x5, equivalent in brightness to 8E75, which is AGFA. It has an exposure rating of 5 ergs per square centimeter for a density of 1, and my exposure time was 3 seconds with a beam intensity reading at the film holder of 1.7 microwatts. The laser pointer was producing 2.45 milliwatts undiverged. Because of the anti-halation backing, I threw in rapid fixer between the stop bath and bleach, and it worked beautifully. Cost of the film is about $2.50 per sheet. Now I will try a reflection, but I am still trying to remove the anti-halation backing prior to exposure. Kodak's suggestion didn't work, which was 80-degree water with a 2 to 5% acetic acid bath. Kodak says there's nothing special in the fixer that removes the backing, but I know that's not true since I can see the backing vanish rapidly using fixer. I have a good idea what component it is and will experiment today on that aspect. And I will keep you posted on further updates from Steve and his work. Now, I had a group of students come in from the New York area to learn about how to make holograms using a laser pointer. And after the workshop, we sat down in the studio and recorded a few of their impressions and ideas on holography in general. It's always good to hear from the upcoming generation, and it will be them that we will pass the torch on to in the future. Here are a few audio clips from our conversations, and we have Michael, Brittany, Samantha, and Mom Joan. I'll be back right after they're finished.
Would you like to make your own one-of-a-kind hologram and learn how you can start making holograms on your own at the same time? You can do this and much more by attending one of Frank DeFreitas' holography workshops. From beginner to advanced, Frank's got a workshop that's just right for you. From single afternoon, evening, or weekend introductory workshops to Wednesday evening, 5-week complete courses. And don't forget his newest workshop, Laser Pointer Holography. Located just off the northeast extension of the Pennsylvania Turnpike and Interstate 78, the studio is a quick, non-stop drive from the New York, Philadelphia, and Baltimore, Washington, D.C. areas. For more information, call the studio's toll-free hotline at 1-800-458-3525 and begin your own journey with holography today. That's 1-800-458-3525 for more information on attending a Frank DeFreitas holography workshop today.
Okay, this is Frank DeFreitas. Welcome back to HoloTalk. I have a few guests with me this week, and we had a group of people come in from just above New York City, and they came in to learn about laser pointer holography, and it's a group of students ranging in age from, well, Michael, how old are you?
7.
And how old's the oldest in the group, do you know?
11.
11 years old? And you made a laser pointer hologram today, didn't you, Michael?
Uh-huh.
And what did you make the hologram of?
A cup with this bird on it.
A cup with a bird on it?
Yeah.
And it turned out really nice, didn't it?
Yeah.
In fact, I'm going to take a picture of that hologram before you go, and we're going to put that hologram up on the webpage so that people can see the hologram that you made. And you made that using a laser pointer, right?
Yep.
You've seen a lot of different holograms today over at the museum, right?
Yeah.
What do you think would be an interesting thing for holograms in the future someday?
Like hologram video games.
Hologram video games?
Hologram dartboards.
What about the pandas? Tell me what you were telling me earlier about the pandas.
How you could go to the zoo. Pandas don't live that long, so you get 2 pandas and put 2 hologram pandas, so the real pandas won't feel alone.
And they die early because they're alone, right? So if they had a hologram panda to keep them company,
they would live longer.
They would live longer because they'd think that there was another panda in there with them, right? And what did you say about the skyscrapers, the buildings?
I forgot.
Do you remember what you were telling me about that?
You put the actual building in a hologram, so people will know what it looks like when it's built.
So in other words, instead of spending all the money to build a building first and then have someone come down the street and say, you know what, I don't like that building, we wasted our money. It would be a good idea to make a hologram of the building first and let the people see what the hologram looks like before they spent all the time and all the money building it. That's what you meant, right? Because I remember you explained that. So did you have a good time today?
Uh-huh.
And what are you going to do with your hologram?
I'm going to hang it up.
You're going to hang it up? That's a really nice hologram of the cup. Michael, it was nice working with you today.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay, our second guest is Brittany. And Brittany, how are you today?
Fine, thank you.
Hold on. Folks, in case you're wondering what that was the weather warning alarm, so there's probably some very bad weather moving into the area. So let me just turn it off, Brittany. I'm very sorry.
Okay.
How are you?
Fine, thank you.
And what's your age?
I'm 11.
11 years old. And you made a laser pointer hologram today.
Yes.
Now, don't you find it amazing that you can make a hologram with a laser pointer?
Yes.
Especially how expensive lasers are, right?
Yes.
What was your hologram of? I think it was a ballerina, wasn't it?
Yep.
What material was the ballerina? It was very shiny. Do you know what it was made out of? Was that solid gold?
No.
No, that ballerina. I didn't think so. If that ballerina were solid gold, you'd have to probably have police bring you to the house because someone would want to take that from you real quick. You wrote down a few things and you had a few ideas about what holography could do in the future. And I was wondering if you could share that with us on the show today.
Okay.
What are some of the things that you'd like to see happen with holography? What are some of your ideas for the future?
Well, instead of having a war with real humans, countries can decide who will win by using hologram people and equipment and earn points so no one can get hurt.
So all the hologram soldiers would go out into the field and fight each other without using real people.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about using that with, like, the WWF, the Worldwide Wrestling Federation? Do you think maybe we should have holographic wrestlers, too?
Yeah.
Yeah, wouldn't that be neat?
Yeah.
You could throw the wrestler out into the audience onto your lap and you'd never feel him. What else do you have on the sheet there?
Well, you could watch other shows in your own home.
That would be neat.
Or ballets.
Do you do ballet?
Yes.
I thought so. That's why you brought the ballerina and you're mentioning ballet. Ballet would be very interesting to watch in your home instead of watching it on TV, a flat picture, to have that ballerina actually right in the middle of the room as a hologram. Do you have a few more there?
You could have flower blooming holograms, which would last longer than real flowers sent by force. You could have driving tests with holograms so you don't crash cars.
That's very good. I'll bet you, Brittany, that's probably going to be one of the first things that we see with holography, is one of the virtual reality driving tests.
Hologram buttons can be on gravestones and cemeteries so people can hear and see the deceased.
That's another very good idea. You know, I feel like I should have a hologram done of myself so that someday my generations will be able to look back and see me. And it's a shame that so many famous people in the world today are not being done as holograms. Do you know who is the only United States president that has ever done as a hologram? Do you know?
Ronald Reagan.
Ronald Reagan is Did you give her that answer? Who gave her the answer? Someone gave her the answer. Okay. Well, Brittany, thank you very much for being on the show.
You're welcome.
Okay. Okay, we've got another guest, which is Samantha. Samantha, how are you?
Good.
And your age?
11.
11 years old. What grade are you in when you're 11 years old? I can't remember anymore.
6.
6th grade? That's right. You made a hologram today with a laser pointer. And what do you feel about that? Do you think that's fascinating?
Yeah.
Did you have a pretty good time?
Yeah.
Now, you worked in the darkroom, too, right? You actually developed one of the holograms.
Yeah.
And how did you find out? Was that hard to do, or was it easy for you?
It was hard and easy, but it was fun.
What was the hard part of developing the hologram?
The mixing the chemicals.
Mixing the chemicals. And what was the easy part?
Drying it.
Drying it? Okay. Well, you know, we need to know what some people think are easy and what some people think are hard. Overall, let me ask you this. When you thought that you were going to do a hologram, did you think it would be as easy as what it turned out to be?
No.
Was it a lot easier than what you thought it would be?
Yes.
That's good to hear, because that's what we want. We want to make it easy for everybody. Now, let me ask you a question. What do you think we could do with holography in the future?
You can have school at home.
School at home where a teacher would virtually come into your living room?
Yeah.
Not the bathroom. There's certain rooms at home you don't want the teacher actually showing up and saying, what's the capital of France, right? And any other ideas what you would like to do?
No.
What about having your bedroom as a hologram
That would be cool.
And then when your bedroom gets all messed up and it's a wreck, and your mom or dad comes up and says, "Clean this room," instead of cleaning it, you can just change the hologram. That would be pretty neat, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think you may do holograms later on, again, sometime, on your own? You think you would like to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Samantha, I want to thank you very much for coming in. I know you guys want to run. It's getting late. And as many of you may have heard already, that was the second time that the weather warning alarm went off. So there must be something that's moving into the area. So we're going to let you get on the road as soon as possible. So thank you for being on the show.
Thank you.
Okay. Now you have something you wanted to add to the show. Tell us what your name is.
Hi, my name's Joan.
And you don't have to tell us your last name. No, don't tell it, because this is on the net, and nobody wants to know anybody's last names on the net. I know people like to have their privacy. What are some of the things that you have as far as ideas? Why? Let me ask you this. Why are your kids here making holograms?
Well, they have a big interest in it, and when I went on to the Internet and on your website, thought this would be a great way for them to learn about it, hands-on.
Was it a great way for them to learn?
Absolutely. Sensation.
What do you think of the holograms, especially the one that Michael did? What do you think of that cup hologram?
That was absolutely beautiful. The quality. It looked like you actually could see down into the cup.
And would you believe that was possible to do with a little $7.99 laser pointer?
No, I never would have thought it.
Yeah.
It was museum quality.
What are some of your ideas that you have down there for holography in the future?
Currently on computer, they have age progressions for missing persons, and if you could combine that and transform the age progression image into a hologram, it would help people to find a person years into the future, because if you have an actual moving image and use digital recording to try to simulate what you think the voice will sound like, also aged, I think you'd have a better way of finding people or identifying them.
Yep. And with it being a hologram, that increases your chances as well. Because you're just about, in fact, you could probably take that holographic image anywhere and have that projected so people could see that.
Yeah.
There's holographic sound as well that's been worked on for many years as well. Yeah. So you combine the holographic sound of the voice with the holographic image, and do you have something else there, too?
One other thing, for insurance purposes, to remember the contents of a home inventory. It's easier to catalog, and if there's a loss, or for sentimental reasons, to look at something, maybe even antiques, and see what they look like over time.
Do you think that would be more valuable as holography rather than photography?
Absolutely, because it is all the dimensions.
Yeah, that's another very good application. And these are all very practical applications as well that you're coming up with here, too.
And the only other thing, unless it's already done, in museums to feature famous people doing the events that they go down in history for. And to have that on display where kids can hit a button and see the person. For example, winning the Olympics or a president making the State of the Union.
Well, wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Yeah, they're all very good ideas. And hopefully we'll get there someday. And what's really exciting about it is the group of young people that you have here with you today will probably be the generation that does it. Yeah. And it may be one of you yourselves that do it. You never know.
You never know.
You never know. Well, thank all of you for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, we're going to log off here and find out what this weather situation is. And we'll be back with more of HoloTalk in just a moment. So that's our show for this week, folks. It was great working with the kids. It was actually very enjoyable to see other people making holograms using laser pointers, because I thought I was living in a dream world there for a little while. Thanks for tuning into the show. Next week we should have a guest. I sent out a few emails to see who wants to take the turn this week to come on. So when I get an email back, we'll get one of the guests on for next week. Don't forget the laser diode updates. I'm still working on this. There's still a lot of testing to be done, so stay tuned to the laser diode web pages and see the latest work. And if you'd like to see the holograms firsthand, once again, they will be unveiled on Saturday evening, March 6th, and at Tinkham Falls, New Jersey, at the Central New Jersey Mensa event that will be held there, the 25th anniversary event. And I will be the keynote speaker that evening, and we'll be bringing holograms, a little laser light show, and we'll be doing HoloTalk, actually right from the conference itself. So thank you very much for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.